What's up, guys? Raziel here, and we're not even going to do the drop today. I wanted to talk about this because I've been getting asked about it quite a bit on stream and asked a bit some DMs and on my Discord of what my thoughts are about the whole Blizzard allegation things that's going on right now. And I wanted to just, so I don't have to repeat myself, I can just direct people to this video so I can give you guys my thoughts about it, and that's going to be pretty much it. So, warning, some of you may get triggered about some of the things I say, but this is just my opinion, my viewpoint. If you don't like it, that's completely fine. You don't have to like it, but hey, my opinion's just as valuable as yours, which is worthless. Both of our opinions are fucking worthless. But anyway, first and foremost, I want to say that I didn't script this video. I just put down some key points that I wanted to talk about and just so I make sure I hit them and I don't forget them. First and foremost, Blizzard is a AAA company, game producer, right? Game creation company. And all AAA video game companies and all huge corporations, you know, in Hollywood that make any kind of consumer product, whether it be food, electronics, games, furniture, they're all corrupt and they do shit like this. They virtue signal when it's profitable. For example, you know, all these big game companies during Pride Month putting up the flag and putting up all this stuff. Even like companies like Coca-Cola, you know, that put the flag on the Coke can or whatever. But, you know, in Dubai, their cans stay the same because it's not profitable to do it over there because there are no LGBTQ rights in those parts of the world. So they're obviously not going to put it there. Big companies like Blizzard, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, EA, any big company, they're not moral compasses. They're not people. They're blood-sucking machines. Excuse me, I just ate and it's kind of my throat a bit. And you shouldn't look at them as such. You shouldn't idolize them. There are no companies that are completely free of this and are squeaky fucking clean. There never will be. There never has been. I always look at any product a company makes at its actual product itself, and if it's something I like or want to use or enjoy, then I'm obviously gonna buy it. If I don't, I'm not. But I have no loyalty to any brand of any kind, of any company of any kind at all. I can safely say that. I don't buy certain things because, oh, this brand made it. No, I do my reviews and I search for products that way. Just because remember, every company's goal is to make as much money from you as they possibly can all the time and as much as possible, right? So let's get that out of the way first. Second point I want to make is obviously sexual harassment and discrimination is real and it does happen all over the industry and all over the world, everywhere, to both genders. Yes, there are two genders, I said that. Men and women, boys and girls, right? My viewpoint, you don't have to like it, but that's how I see the world. I, believe in biology. But you look at, it happens all the time, right? And it's a serious thing, and it's not okay, it's not acceptable to discriminate anyone based on their skin color, their race, their age, their gender, their religion, anything. You shouldn't discriminate that way. You also shouldn't sexually harass people. Just don't be a piece of shit, right? And you know what? Men get sexually harassed too. Women get sexually harassed all the time. It's what happens, right? There are no exceptions to this. Everyone, every type of person can be a victim of sexual assault, harassment, discrimination. Okay, let's get that out of the way. But you also have to keep in mind that even though these companies are really huge, that a lot of this stuff is still the amount of people in these companies doing these types of things, these awful things, is still the minority by far. There are a lot of good people that work for these companies. People just like you and I. They're everyday people that just want to, go to work, doing something they love to do, and then get their paycheck and go home to their families or friends or what have you, their pets. But just like, the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. In this case, usually it's the smallest group of people that do the most fucked up stuff are the ones that end up being the loudest, especially in this age of cancer that is social media and all this bullshit. But I'm confident that a large portion of the people that work at all of these companies are good people. decent people at least. The next point I want to get to, tying back into more directly to Blizzard here. Right now, what's going on, these are allegations that are being investigated. They're not conviction. It hasn't gone through court yet. And our culture, as we know right now, is poisoned with the social media mob mentality, reacting purely on feelings and emotions and headlines and promoting cancel culture instead of waiting for facts to come out, instead of critically thinking and taking a step back and looking at things and let our justice system do its work. Instead, everyone just rages and cries and throws a tantrum and want to see people canceled. Another good example of what this mentality gets you is take a look at history and look at the Salem witch trials. Yeah, enough said. So again, these are allegations and not convictions yet. The company or the organization in California that's doing these investigating this is the DFEH. And just so you know, do a little research your own on them. They're pretty corrupt as well. They frequently use suicides and things like that to promote false allegations as well. Like someone will kill themselves over something unrelated, and then they'll take that suicide, say no, it's related to this, and then they'll do shit like that. And they're just as power hungry as any other government construct. And let's face it, like California is a shit show right now. It's one of the worst places you can live in the United States. The laws are draconian. It's bad. But so take everything that they say and do, just like everything that Blizzard says and does, and any company or any government organization, with a grain of salt, right? Critically think for yourself. Back to my other point, like I said earlier, all companies have pieces of shit in them. People that are pieces of shit that ruin it for everybody. So for example, you have the small group of people that are harassing and discriminating against people, and being complete cocks. And they ruin it for all the good people, right? So let's say if everyone stops buying the product because, this company's awful, when it was, like 20 people in the company are awful and the other 700 are not. They all lose. The 700 people now lose their jobs and get laid off now too, right? So they ruin it for everybody. In the same way that someone is legitimately sexually harassed or abused and they come forward, and then 6-7 other people that weren't harassed or abused come forward as well, just because they want the attention or the internet clout. They ruin it for people that bad things really did happen to by lying about their own lives, saying it happened to them too when it really didn't, right? There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of narcissistic fuckbags out here. Again, thanks social media for that. But anyway, there's no shortage of this kind of shit going on. You can look it up yourself if you don't believe me. I mean, obviously, Activision Blizzard is the target right now. There's also EA, Rockstar, Riot Games, even Square Enix back in 2019 had a big harassment issue internally. CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft. I mean, it's going to exist wherever human beings exist. That's just fucking reality, right? There are some really shitty people out there, just awful, awful people. So if you're looking for a company that is squeaky clean and you'll never be able, and you will only from this point forward ever buy products or watch media or anything, show any kind of support to a company that's squeaky clean, you will never have a company ever again. You'll be out of clothes. I mean, you'll be out of technology. You'll be out of games. You'll be out of food for the most part, unless you grow your own, right? Companies do this, and they, like I said earlier, they virtue signal. Apple is sitting there virtue signaling about, Pride Month while simultaneously having sweatshops in China, or, it just goes on and on and on and on. Companies are not beacons or heroes. You should never attach your identity or any kind of loyalty to any company ever. It's just a bad idea, because eventually you're gonna get screwed and get disappointed. So the real question is, how do we address what's actually going on right now? How do we stop it? My opinion is, let the legal system we have in place run its course. And if there are people in Activision Blizzard found guilty of these things they're being accused of, they need to be fired, and they need to be punished to the full extent of the law. Whether that means jail time, a very bare minimum, fired and never working in the industry again. I'm in all support of, because this is not okay if they're actually doing this kind of thing. But you have to keep in mind, not the whole company is this way. It's certain people doing it. Now, if let's say all this goes through and, there's 20, 30 people or more that are found guilty of this after, because I'm a huge fan of due process and evidence and facts. and innocent until proven guilty, right? And I know we live in an age of someone's accused, so the Twitter mob destroys their entire life and their livelihood, and they're guilty until proven innocent. And in my opinion, that's pure evil and tyranny in every way, shape, and form. But I digress. Let's say they're caught beyond a reasonable doubt. They did this kind of shit. They should be fired, and that happens, right? Now, after this, if you choose to stop buying any Blizzard, if that happens and you choose to stop buying any Blizzard products, any games, if the allegations are true, then that's completely up to you, and I support you on that. But don't be a hypocrite. Stop supporting other companies as well. Because you can look, there's lots of this shit going on in a lot of companies. It's just being hidden a little better because the companies may be a little smaller, or maybe their home base isn't in America and is in China or Japan or Korea or something like that, right? That's my opinion. Like, I'm always going to base what products I buy on if they're fun or not, right? I'm not looking at any company to be a moral beacon for me, a moral compass for me, and nor should you. If you enjoy a game, play it, even if the company that made it is a piece of shit, because all companies, for the most part, are pieces of shit in terms of when you're looking at morality from a morality standpoint. But I'm not going to hate on anyone who chooses to not buy products from a company that has this going on, because all companies have this going on. But where they actually get caught, like in this case, no judgment for me if you choose to not play. But at the same time, I don't want any judgment back if I choose to play something that a company that's kind of shitty made, right? Because get off your high horse unless you can say, hey, I don't own a single product or play a single game that was designed by someone who's a scumbag or has scumbags around in that company. Unless you can confidently say that, you have no fucking place to judge anybody for what they play and what they do. Again, I'm going to go back to I'm a really strong believer in innocent until proven guilty. Facts and evidence need to prevail, and punishment dealt out accordingly when those deeds are found to be in fact true. Because it's not acceptable. Those people should be punished, right? Again, I'm going to reiterate this again. Don't get emotionally invested in companies, or even punish the good people in those companies. Imagine if you worked for a company, right, that was kind of dodgy and shady, but it was your source of income, right? And you had nothing to do with any of these allegations, nothing like that, and you put your heart and soul into whatever projects you were on, and then they fire you because the project you worked on didn't make enough money because people stopped supporting you because of the people up above. If I was in that situation, I would be doing everything I could to make the people in the company responsible for these actions, if they're true, to be handled to the full extent of the law and removed from the company and replacements found. I know that's easier said than done, but my final thought on that is people need to think critically. And when you do make a decision that's free of emotions and let our justice system do its work. Now, if the justice system can't do its work, we have bigger problems, and that may be the case. I mean, in my opinion, we are in the middle of the collapse of Western civilization, but that's just me. I don't want to get off on a tangent there. Bottom line is, for me anyway, games are meant to be enjoyed, and that's the main thing that determines if I play a game or I don't play a game. I try to keep my own personal beliefs and politics out of the games I play. And I understand that a lot of people are garbage, and a lot of these garbage people have positions of power in big companies. But if I took the stance of I'm never buying a product ever again from any company that's corrupt, I wouldn't even be living probably. I wouldn't even have a cardboard box to live in, because chances are there are some scumbag shitheads that discriminate and harass people working at the company that make cardboard boxes, right? Many great things, games and otherwise, all kinds of things, right, are created by people who later turned out to be kind of not the best human beings, straight up pieces of shit. And I guess what you have to ask is, does that make their creation tainted to where you don't touch it? And I guess that's up to you to answer. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts there. I'm not going to discuss it anymore if I can avoid it on stream and other things, but those are my thoughts. Think critically, think for yourself. Don't hold up a company any kind of high regard to being heroes. Yeah, some companies are worse than others, but there's not a single squeaky fucking clean company out there. Take care, guys. You can see my stream schedule. It's on my Twitch page and in my About section here on YouTube. And as always, my friends, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. If you didn't, that's fine. Give it a thumbs down. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. But as always, my friends, keep it real.